What's going on, y'all? Welcome back to basketball, and more importantly, welcome back to Bleacher Report, another redraft. I find this one particularly interesting. 2019, the year of Zion and Ja Morant. Your boy was in college at this time, had a little bit of experience against both of these people, actually, when they were in college, and it was a fun draft class, right? We had some really explosive, literally, talent coming into the league, and since 2019, these guys have only played each other like 8 or 9 times. So would they still go 1 and 2 in a redraft? That's what we're kind of here to talk about today, because I'll be honest, I struggled to remember who's in every single draft class, and I'm curious who else was in here. So it's fun to kind of look back, reflect, and say, hey, what maybe should have happened, right? But with all that being said, let's make sure that we like, subscribe, and comment. I've responded to every single comment to my YouTube channel up to this point, and I intend to keep on doing so. It's actually Thanksgiving on the day that I'm recording this. When you're a business owner and you work in the basketball industry, there are really no days off ever, except maybe a little bit in the summer sometimes. But I would appreciate if you guys go back and watch some of the content from this last week. We had last week in the film room. We have the progress report, rookie reports, whole bunch of fun stuff kind of coming out right now. And I would just appreciate it if you guys showed them a little bit of love. Be thankful for AVC. Do it, because I don't know. You do it whatever the fuck you want. But anyway, let's get into the article. Alrighty, so like always with these redrafts, I think it's important to note, like, the actual team that's picking them doesn't matter, right? It's just a reminder of, like, who had what pick in the draft, right? So don't worry about, like, team fits with any of these things. It's really just a way to go back and rank everybody in the class and then get a perspective as to how good has this class been. Because like I said, it's been almost 7 years at this point, which is crazy for me to think about, and it makes me feel very, very old, because like I said, I think back to college, and like I said, I had some experiences with both of these guys back in the day, and it's crazy to see like where everybody's at now and the perspectives we have, because both of these guys are kind of talking points is the best way to put it. So where would we necessarily find them in a redraft? Let's find out. Stop right there, y'all. I've got some breaking news to talk about. That's right, I'm interrupting this mildly interesting YouTube video because we've got a special channel announcement. I'm proud to announce that we've got our first ever channel partnership, Fan Daily. Have you ever wanted one place that keeps you fully up to date on the schools you care about the most? Well, Fan Daily builds a personalized daily newsletter around the programs you care about most. You can pick up to 3, and Fan Daily pulls everything together for you. Team news, game previews, key stats, and updates on all your school's athletes now playing in the NFL, NBA, WNBA, MLB, and the NHL. Instead of digging through apps and feeds, you can get one clean daily email that tracks your teams and their pro alumni automatically. It's simple, accurate, and actually useful. I hope you all know that I really value your time. I've been approached by a lot of other companies before that want to partner with the channel, but I've just never really felt there was a good fit up to this point. But the guys at Fan Daily approached me, and I got to talk to them, hear their story a little bit, and I just really vibed with what they're trying to do. In a world where we get fed a lot of nonsense on the daily, it felt good to kind of just have control over the media that was being sent to me every day. It's like exactly what I wanted to see. And by the way, this isn't a paid partnership. This is really just 2 small businesses in my channel and their website realizing that we could probably help each other out. We've got some similar goals and values, similar audiences, so we really just kind of want to start working together a little bit. So I encourage you today, go create your own custom newsletter. The link to their website will be in the description down below. Take control of your media feed. But now, let's get back to the video. Did y'all like that little ad there? Look at that. Your boy can somewhat do it. I need a better camera, by the way. I'm so sorry. Shout out Fan Daily and everything. I need to get a better camera. I'm gonna look for one during Cyber Monday. My face is normally up here, so I didn't realize how bad my $50 camera is. I'm gonna get a better one, I promise you. But anyway, who do we got number? Darius Garland, number 1. Honestly, fair so far, because like if I was to just think, who would I want between like Zion, Darius Garland, and Ja Morant? Oh, it's tougher than you think. I'm putting Ja Morant like clearly at 3 between those guys, just because look, the play isn't as good as it used to be, right? He has injury problems, and he's got a lot of personality quirks is probably the best way to put it, right? I call it quirks because like, look, I don't know the guy, but we've all seen some things, right, on the IG Live or the post-game interviews and stuff like that, right? Darius Garland, yeah, he's had some injury problems like in recent memory and everything, but obviously, Java, if you don't go away, I'm trying to talk right now. But Darius Garland, like, no real like personality issues that we're aware of, like a lot more readily available than the other two, like all-star level guard, right? One of the top guys in terms of like peak efficiency. I've talked about Bleacher Report. Oh, come on, man. It's Thanksgiving. I'm supposed to be thankful for you. Okay, we're good. Never mind. We're good. We're good. As I was saying, I have a lot of praise for Darius Garland. I know, again, this season, injuries early on, like, I don't care too much. Something that impressed me so much last year was his ability to have the basketball and not have the basketball and be effective in both of those. That's really rare to find in players nowadays, because he was like an all-star level guard and in both of those factors. When Donovan Mitchell's on the court, he's that dude and you're playing off ball, right? That's what you're doing. You're secondary creator. But when Donovan Mitchell goes off the court, you got to be that dude. And man, he excelled at both of those. And then when I think about like Zion, right? If I was a team that was like, this is day one, we're starting from like nothing, I'll still take Zion Williamson because the talent is so incredible, and I'm not as concerned, like, personality-wise with him as I am, say, like, Ja Morant or whatever. Like, his potential is just so high, right, that I would want to give it a chance with him. But, like, if I've already got, like, one or two like interesting prospects on the team, I might just want Darius Garland instead. So that's kind of where I stand with things. And by the way, like, I hope you guys with these videos like have some good discussions about it in the comment section below, because everyone's entitled to their own opinion on this stuff. But let's see, do we have a Zion next? We got Ja Morant above Zion. Oh, okay, so whoever wrote this, you're entitled to your opinion. Hell no, I'm taking Zion before Ja Morant right now. I know the injuries and everything, but like, Ja's injured all the time now, and he's hardly played over the past couple years. And at least when like Zion's on the court, he's being productive. And yes, it's very early into the season still. By the time you guys are watching this, we're just getting to kind of that 20 game mark, which I've been telling you guys the whole season is when we can actually really start to like judge players and be like, hey, like, and teams to be like, hey, we've got a little bit of a sample size now. Like, going forward, we should kind of be able to tell if teams are in their groove or not and stuff. So who knows where Ja Morant goes, right? Because it's still kind of early in the season, right? But has been a rough start to this season. I really just don't feel like his game has improved very much. And like Zion, when he came in and like was playing, like he was just already kind of like top 10 good, right? Because the only issue is literally getting him on the court. The Pelicans this year, disaster or whatever, right? Just in tons of different facets, right? And the team's not well built at this point either. It doesn't make a ton of sense what they're doing out there. Obviously, the coaching has already been a problem. The fact that you can get fired 20 games into an NBA season, that just tells you how disorganized everything is. Because, like, how the fuck, like, I don't understand. That's not even enough time to, like, kind of stabilize your team and get it going. But, yeah, what we saw out of Willie Green and his coaching and stuff this year was not great, but I don't expect them to be good regardless, so I try to give a little bit of slack here. But yeah, I'm not putting Ja Morant up this high, but we should still say, like, and I know it feels like I'm shitting on Ja a little bit right now, and that's easy to do on the internet, don't get me wrong. There's a ton of talent in the kid still, like, don't get it twisted. I'm calling him a kid, he's my age, but like, we all know the talent, the playmaking ability is there. Still hasn't been able to become a shooter yet, but I'd still want to try to develop this talent if I were somebody, right? If I'm somebody. I don't know if it's Memphis at this point. Maybe the bridge is just kind of burnt at this point. We'll see what happens this year if he gets traded or not, but don't get it twisted. The talent is very much there, but the personality issues are too much of a concern for me personally at this point. Okay, so now we got Zion going number 3. Fair enough, right? We've already talked about Zion enough in this one, along with these other 3. So who's the next one after that? Is it going to be like RJ Barrett? He's had a pretty good start to the season with Toronto, man. So is he going to be number 4 still? This was originally RJ Barrett. That's right. That's right. And where did Garland go? Was he 4? Was he 4? He was 5. Okay, fair enough. Who was 4 in this draft? Why can't I? Was that Scotty? Was it Scotty in this? No, is Scotty in this draft class? I can't remember, honestly. So they got Tyler Hero next. Okay. Fair enough. This was DeAndre Hunter. It was DeAndre Hunter. That's who it was. Solid basketball player. But yeah, Tyler Hero moving up here. That makes some sense. I would put him definitely below the 3 other guys. But like, here's the thing. If I'm being honest, would you rather have Ja Morant or Tyler Hero at this point? Talent-wise, we all understand where Ja Morant is. I'm probably taking Tyler Hero still, like all-star level guard last year, and he's only played a couple games so far this season, but he's been excellent coming in, which is awesome. Still shooting the shit out of the basketball, right? Like he's got his flaws in his game, right? Like defensively, we still have like some question marks. He's still not like a true playmaker per se. He can kind of do the pseudo playmaker, if you would, but still a very good basketball player. And all things said about him, and he can be a little bit goofy sometimes, and I can definitely say that I've got a little bit of background with Hero as well. These guys are all my age, so I have a... Are you serious, Bleacher Report? It's Thanksgiving. What are we doing right here? But I was gonna say, like, all these guys are my age, so the odds that I've had like some sort of interaction with them is relatively high, I suppose, considering my basketball background. But anyway, Tyler Hero in his game, like I think it's pretty well established at this point. And honestly, you might prefer to have that over Ja at this point. We've reached the fourth and final All-Star of the 2019 class. The fact that we got 5 All-Stars in a class is awesome, man. That's great. And I mean, a lot of times guys get one all-star game, and that's just kind of what it is. There's usually like 2 or 3 guys that kind of rotate in and out like every year. But that's pretty impressive in and of itself. What do they got to say about him? He won 6th Man of the Year. I forgot about that. So he's got a couple little awards to him at this point. He's been a reliable 3-point shooter throughout his career, in elite volume, exactly like he can score. He got better at getting to the rim last year. As long as you don't need him to run an offense as a primary facilitator. That's my thing as well. And look, nobody's perfect, right? That's for sure. But Tyler Hero being number 4 on this list, yeah, I get it. Like I can understand that you wanting to go with Ja instead, but I might pick Hero. That's just me. Next, oh, my boy Kobe White. From my Chicago Bulls. For those of you new to the channel, Bulls fan. I know it sucks. It's kind of fucking terrible. But yeah, Kobe White, he's become everything that I kind of figured he could become. Like, I feel like potential has kind of maxed out for him, which is great in a lot of ways. And Kobe White's a very good basketball player. I don't know if it goes better than this, but I feel like we've achieved it. Like, because when Kobe White was coming in and the Bulls took him, I was like, okay, to me, this seems like an all-around kind of like offensive combo guard, play with without the basketball, just be instant offense, right? The playmaking has been better than I would have anticipated, right? I wouldn't call him the most cerebral basketball player ever, but he's a high volume scorer, right? Defense, got some questions about it. At least he's a big body, right? He's big and strong, and he can chest people up if you really need him to, but I wouldn't say he's playing like any elite defense by any means. Do you want him being like your lead guard on a championship team? Probably not, right? He's probably more so like the second guard on the team, right? That's more of the spark kind of guy. Maybe you have someone else kind of running the offense a little bit more. Honestly, I sometimes think Kobe White's better without the ball, even though like his driving and foul drawing ability has gotten so much better, again, because he is really quick and he is really strong. So that's really good. But yeah, it's cool to see Kobe White jump up. He was originally the 7th overall pick. Wow, I'd kill for the Bulls to have the 7th pick at this point, because all we ever get nowadays is like 11, 12, 13, because I don't know, man. The Bulls are just a fucking disaster. Kobe White joins Garland and Moran as the only 2019 picks to total 6,000 points, 1,600 assists. Well, he's been readily available throughout that whole time, which is great. I've loved that he's just kind of continued to get better and better and better. What else do we got? He averaged 19 points per game last year. Yep, that's awesome. Or 20 points last year. Yeah, that's what I was going to say. I thought he scored 20. Though his only individual accolade was all rookie nod. White stands as one of the best sub-star guards in the league. Yeah, like that's probably fair to say. He's in one of those lower tiers of things, but yeah, shout out Kobe White. I like Kobe White. They should probably trade him. They should have traded him a while ago. Lou Dort. All right, the original pick was Jarrett Culver. Y'all remember Jarrett Culver? Probably not, because you really didn't get to see too much of him. Wasn't a guy that I was particularly fond of, I remember, coming in, but regardless, like, shout out Jarrett Culver. He was undrafted originally, man. And again, this is the part of the video where we kind of get to, as the kids say, glaze OKC and everything that they do perfectly. They found Lou Dort, turned him into a guy that you can't live without on the Thunder, right? The Dortcher chamber, the defense is awesome, the three-point shooting. How's the three-point shooting been for sweet Lou Dort this season? Let me pull it up really quick. Let's see. We are at only 30%. I was going to say, I had a feeling it was a little bit less so far this season, but again, it's early, it's not a big deal or whatever. J-Dub's going to come back at some point. It's going to make things even more wide open than it already is for the Thunder, but his defense and his 3-and-D-ness is obviously one of the best in the NBA. Super valuable for that reason. The toughness and the grit, all awesome. Last season's all-defensive first-team nod was the first official acknowledgement of Lou Dort's game-changing work on that end. Yeah, his defense is phenomenal. Blah, 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 blah. He's won a championship now at this point. Dort is the only player in this class to occupy a full-time starting role on a title-winning squad. Ooh, that is kind of true. That's kind of a cool point to make, actually. Like, hey, this dude, like, his gameplay is succeeding as well. Yes, he is on like the most perfect basketball like situation like ever at this point. Like, he's well coached, he's got an organization that knows what the fuck they're doing. They got mop boys that are organized. If you don't know what I'm talking about, go watch this video right here, and you'll get to learn all about the OKC mop boys. And by the way, this video right here, if you're listening to this in the car for whatever reason, it's last week in the film room for last week, because I've learned that a lot of you guys do watch it that way. But anyway, yeah, Lou Dort, awesome, right? Very, very fun 3-and-D player. Good to see him kind of get some love here. So now we're kind of into the role player territory already, which is cool. Next, PJ Washington was originally the 12th pick. Remember how PJ Washington had nothing going on at the beginning of his career when he was with Charlotte, and then Dallas was like, we'll take a flyer on him, and now all of a sudden he started balling out, because at that time Charlotte was still in there, and who knows where we're at now. We're trying to give the new regime like a little bit of slack, right, to figure out, hey, how good are you guys at developing talent and figuring shit out, right? But this was at the time where the Hornets couldn't develop like any talent, and it was just a place you kind of went to for your career to die. And then he went to Dallas, and he became the player that we know him as today. Much like Lou Dort, pretty elite 3-and-D guy. Early this season, it feels like he's really trying to make up for the lack of like Anthony Davis, Kyrie Irving, getting a lot more shots up, trying to do what he can. And look, somebody has to, right? He's a very talented player. But we've all seen PJ Washington be a starter level player on a championship level team, right? Obviously, they made that finals run with him and Daniel Gafford and Lively and all those dudes before the Luka trade and everything. But the skill set that he brings, being able to put the ball on the floor, sometimes he is a solid passer, elite corner shooter, right? Extremely valuable role player at this point in his career. And this is like, he's an important lesson. That's why I brought up the Charlotte thing of like, hey, try to judge an entire situation, right? Like we've talked about in the past, like the Wizards just being a place where like talent can't develop. We hope that's a little bit different now, but that's something you have to use to evaluate people. When you're looking at, say, New Orleans right now and it looks a little bit bad, or the Kings and things look a little bit bad right now, like, and you're looking at the young players there, just remember things like that. Jalen Duren looked really rough, like in terms of like effort and other things his first couple years with the Pistons, and then they go and clean some things up and it looks a lot better, right? There's a lot of factors that go into player development. So I think PJ Washington's a great example of that, and it's great what he's become. By the way, I find it really funny that while we're talking about this article and like Ja Morant and other things, we've got Ja Morant like in street clothes talking shit to a guy that's won 4 championships right here in Klay Thompson. It's so fucking stupid. It's so stupid. Normally I try to be a little bit unbiased with things, but that's just so fucking stupid. The New Orleans Pelicans, Cam Johnson down here. How much of that is because Cam Johnson's off to a really slow start this season? I feel like it's been picking up the last couple games. Can I get a Cam Johnson stat check? Cameron Johnson. Sorry, dunks and threes. Sorry. Can I get a shooting check on him? Yeah, no, we're going back up now. We're going back up in the past like week and a half, which is good. Okay, we love to see that. Can I see like just like attempts too for these things? Okay, I can kind of see it here. Yeah, we're going up in at least shot attempts and everything in 3-point shooting. That's good. Historically, elite shooter, right? I like to think he'll probably get it all figured out, right? Just kind of a slow start to Cam Johnson. But how much of him being this low is because of that? Because remember, this guy's been on a championship level team early in his career too with Phoenix, and he was a big part of that. And we've seen this guy score 20 points per game in the NBA, and all of that whatnot. Yes, you have some questions about defense and shit like that, but regardless, what do we got? Cam Johnson gives us our third 2019 draftee to make a major contribution for the finals team. Nice. Though this Phoenix Suns didn't secure a championship like Dort did, nonetheless, his 38% three-point accuracy marks and solid defense at the forward spot make him a portable starter caliber weapon. Yeah. he's valuable anywhere he goes. I know it's been, like I said, a rough start to Denver so far. I think it's going to be just fine. As we'll soon see, this draft class is running out of that type of player. Well, yeah, how many of those can there be in a single draft class, right? I think it's important to note. We did a video not too long ago, and I always like to point it out when we do videos like this. Where was it exactly? We did one. It's got to be around here somewhere. Yeah, which we do this every year now. Which NBA teams develop talent the best? We found that less than 25% of the time do you actually draft a guy and he sticks around past his rookie deal with a team, which tells you like they're not actually that important to your team in some capacity. So just remember, less than 25% of the time, these guys really work out for their teams, right? But Cam Johnson, definitely that level of contributor. Him at number 8, would I put him above some of these other guys? It's hard to say. It's hard to say, right? Because I think they're just different players, these guys. I think they're just kind of all different players. But I get it. Next, Naz Reid, another undrafted guy, right? It's great to see a development story. Naz Reid's one of the best development stories ever. Shout out the Timberwolves, man, for just really taking this guy in and growing him up. Originally, this was Rui Hachimura. Okay, wow, we still got a Rui to cover in this one. Who was originally this pick? Jackson Hayes. Still a decent player to have on your basketball team at this point, as he's slowly kind of figuring shit out with the Lakers. But Naz Reid, yep, we all know the folk hero that is Naz Reid. I live in Minneapolis, right? I told you guys I'm a Bulls fan, but the Naz Reid love here is awesome. So shout out Naz, right? Just for being like a cool guy and everything. I know he's been going through a lot personally this year and everything, but dude has been cooking for the Wolves as of late. While defensively he makes a lot of like interesting decisions, and I truly say that because it's like, okay, I'm going to gamble for some things because I know Rudy's behind me. I think overall, like, I like what he's able to do on the defensive end. Offensively, a big man that can put the ball on the floor as well as he does, shoot the shit out of the basketball, like really create opportunities. I feel like because the Timberwolves offense is so shitty to watch at times and there's just like no creativity to it, we don't even get to truly experience everything that Naz Reid could bring to the table, and that's something that I would love to explore at some point, but it doesn't seem like Finch will ever decide to do that. But regardless, Naz Reid, one of the better like backups in the NBA, 6th man of the year type of guy. So we give a shout out to Naz Reid. Let's try not to take too much time on these, ABC. Next, Nickeil Alexander-Walker. We're putting him above Rui. Like, I know Rui's still on the board. Like, no shit being thrown at Nickeil Alexander-Walker having a solid season and everything. Rui's pretty damn good, man. I don't know. This is originally Cam Reddish. Cam Reddish is one of those. Sorry, we'll talk about Nickeil in a second. I really thought Cam Reddish was going to be that dude, man. Like I said, I had some experience against Duke in the Zion year, and I'll be honest with you, like, it's impressive as Zion and RJ were. I was like, man, this Cam Reddish dude can do everything. Holy shit. And it just did not work for him in the NBA. And I can tell you, a lot of other scouts and coaches kind of felt the same way. They're like, I don't know, man. Like, I feel like he's got the whole package, and it's just didn't materialize for whatever reason. So I don't know. But Nickeil Alexander-Walker, 3-and-D dude. Sometimes we try to make him a primary ball handler out of desperation because he keeps getting into these situations, and it's not his fault, obviously. But he keeps playing for teams where there's no like playable point guards on the roster. Obviously, Trae Young is out right now, and the Timberwolves just didn't really have anything, so he has to handle the rock a little bit more. That takes him out of where he's most valuable, which is being like off ball, being able to move, being a 3-point shooter, and being an elite defender, right? It took stopovers in New Orleans, Utah, not to mention, I forgot the Utah one, not to mention a couple of different role-playing evolutionary steps. But Nickeil Alexander-Walker is now settled in as one of the NBA's most versatile two-way combo guards. Again, we'll call him a pseudo combo guard. So we're calling him like 25% of primary ball handlers, where I'd like to put him. Considering he entered the league as an unabashed chucker who shot 36% as a rookie and later morphed into a more perimeter stopper, maybe it's not so strange that he's now among the more well-rounded rotation weapons at his position. That's true. Like, you never would have thought that this is the type of player that he would have become back in the day. So that's interesting to see. Originally the 17th pick in that one. Let's see. He shot at least 38% from deep across each of the 3 seasons leading into 25-26, and now he's a frequent starter and closer who defends tough matchups and runs a good portion of the offense for the Atlanta Hawks. Yeah, very good, very well accomplished player at this point. So yeah, we got some solid role players out here. The Timberwolves, RJ Barrett's still on the board. That's right, RJ Barrett's too low. He's too low. Like, especially the season that he's having this year. I mean, RJ Barrett's been pretty dope to start this year for the Raptors. Like, the Raptors are basically just making sure BI, Scotty, and RJ, two of those three are on the court at all times, and they are running like the complete show for them. Like RJ, clearly the number 3 of those 3, but like, I don't know, man, I'd put him quite a bit higher than this. Like, this is a guy that's consistently been able to score around 20 points per game in his career, plays solid defense. Yes, like some of the shooting stuff has been inconsistent at times, but I'll take him over Nikhil. Naz Reid's kind of a different role, so I have a hard time saying that. Like, he's more so in the Cam Johnson realm, right? Like, you might take him over a PJ. I don't know. What do they have to say about RJ Barrett? I'm curious about this one. I'm curious to hear your guys' thoughts on it too. Am I overrating him too much? RJ Barrett has had a strong enough career on paper to make his slippage slightly a surprise. Okay, you've read my mind so far. He's the leader among 2019 selections in total points scored and has been a full-time starter since he debuted. At 18.9 points, 5.5 rebounds, 3.3 assists per game, his counting stats back up all but the starriest names in the class. That said, volume isn't everything, of course. If you sort the leading scorers in the class, Barrett sits at 21 in true shooting percentage. Okay, part of that, though, is like the teams he's played on. Like, he's been on some goofy Toronto teams too that just like did not have any spacing, right? And same with the Knicks, honestly, when he was there at points. But blah 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 blah, but that's only because the cosmetic numbers suggest he belongs somewhere around his original slot at 3. We're trying to explain the drop. Like, okay, I get it, fair enough. Can we pull up RJ Barrett really quick and just get kind of a look at like his career and everything? I mean, like, offensively, he's been pretty damn good. Defensively, yeah, I know there's question marks, and I really don't think it's like that bad or whatever, but seeing a bit of a drop in the 3-point shot since the beginning of the year. It's maybe been coming back down to earth a little bit, so okay, like, fair enough. I don't know, I just feel like he contributes a lot to the team, man. I really do. I really do. So, I don't know. You guys let me know. Should RJ Barrett be higher, or is it just a solid draft class? DeAndre Hunter, another guy who can get 20 a game, man. This is a good draft class right here. Originally picked number 4. He's here. I remember when Hunter got drafted, me and a lot of other people were all like, DeAndre Hunter's going to be like this good when he gets into the NBA right away, and I feel like he's not going to get any better. And that was so true up until last season. And like, he was just like solid starter right away in the NBA. Like, yeah, 3-and-D, can shoot a little bit. Like, if you need him to create just a little bit, he kind of can, and he's just going to be solid in the NBA right away. And like I said, he very much was. And then last year he decided, hey, you know what, I'm going to get a little bit better, and he made that big jump, and all of a sudden he was a huge part of what the Hawks were. Then they traded him for next to nothing. Now he's on Cleveland with 4 other guys that can be 20-point-a-game scorers, and he can go get you 20 any single night. Hunter has averaged double-figure scoring in every year of his career, but last year's 4th place in 6 Man of the Year voting may have settled his place in the league's hierarchy. A reserve in the majority of his appearance for the first time in his career, but that was more so because he was like, that was a team role thing. It wasn't like, oh, there's 5 guys better on the team than him, right? Hunter looks the part of a starter caliber 3-and-D wing, but he's actually more of a spark plug scorer who creates his own shots, often those 2-point jumpers. Yeah, he takes a lot of those kind of dumb mid-range shots, but it is really hard to defend him, and he makes a decent amount of them. Now 28. Wow, how old am I? Oh no, I'm 26. He may not be done developing. After bringing him off the bench last season, the Cavaliers have turned to Hunter as a starter in place of the injured Max Strus. Yeah, no, we like everything that Hunter's able to contribute. The fact that we've got 12 players that are this good already. I mean, these are all starter level dudes in the NBA, man. Starter level dudes. So very cool. Very cool. Nick Claxton. Oh, your boy actually early in his career of player development and stuff had a interaction regarding Nick Claxton that was somewhat influential, so I always root for Nick Claxton just a little bit more. But originally this was Tyler Hero. He was originally a 2nd round pick, obviously extremely versatile defensive player. Now one of the few big men that can probably switch on to perimeter guys, and you're going to feel very good about it. One of the better big men at finishing at the rim, like off the dribble and stuff. You're seeing some of the playmaking skills he has. Very cool center that's been stuck on some shitty teams for a while now. The 2022-2023 season is doing a lot of lifting here. Obviously, he was hurt a lot of last season and stuff, but we've reached the point in the draft where virtually any brush with an individual award is going to weigh heavily. That's fair. He was 9th in Defensive Player of the Year voting. Wow, very cool. The scouting report that produced those results, blah, 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 blah. Early returns in 2025-26 indicate he might be getting back to his old form. Most encouraging of all, the career 55.1% free throw shooting is hitting over 70% of his attempts this year. Hey, it's still not not good, but it's not horrible like it was. So shout out him. I like the versatility he brings as a center. Not too overpaid or anything like that. I like Nick Claxton. Next, Daniel Gafford. Ooh, can we put Daniel Gafford above Claxton? Is Daniel Gafford too low on this list, honestly? Like, you might be able to convince me to put him above, like, Hunter, maybe Barrett, Nikhil, like, maybe Nas. Ooh, like, I really like Daniel Gafford. We talked about him a little bit in the video on Friday, but it just feels like he's, like, the perfect embodiment of what you want, like, a center to be in a lot of ways. Like, defensively, just elite, one of the best rim runners and rim finishers out there, super tough, smart, like, I don't know, man, like, good value on his deal. I don't know, man. You guys let me know. Like, because you guys know Daniel Gafford. His game is pretty simple to explain. Just going to be around the rim, do all that kind of shit offensively. Defensively, just cleans the glass all the time. I don't know. One of the most efficient guys out there. It's a good draft class, man. So the Bulls actually originally took him this draft as a second-round pick, and I was so excited because I thought he was very underrated coming into things. Because where is he coming out of? Was it Arkansas, if I remember correctly? And I was like, oh, yes, this guy's going to be the starting center for the Bulls going forward, and I'm going to be so happy about it. And I really liked the opportunity to just, like, see him develop, and then they just gave him away for fucking nothing like the Bulls always do, and it made me so sad. So we're rooting for you, Big Dan. We really are. This was originally Romeo Langford. That one didn't really work out, did it? But shout out Gafford. Who else we got here? Keldon Johnson, a big-time scorer early in his career, kind of more so just a role player at this point that sometimes takes too many bad shots or whatever, but you know, is what it is. Shout out Keldon Johnson. Is there really anything else to say about it? Spurs fans, I know you guys sometimes get pissed off about him and you try to put him in every single trade rumor scenario that you can. Yeah, I don't know. This was Sekou Doumbouya originally. Yeah, that one didn't work. Pistons, sorry about that. Rui, all the way down here. We cannot put Rui below Keldon Johnson. Come on now. Like, Rui Hachimura has been a really good 3-and-D player on the Lakers for like a minute now. Like, even Lakers fans are kind of at that point where they're not putting him in trade rumors anymore. They're like, well, I kind of just want to keep Rui. Like, Rui's pretty damn good. Because, like, here's the thing. If you did, like, a blind resume thing with Rui Hachimura, like, and I told you, like, hey, you guys are getting, like, a good shooter, can create a little bit. It's a good, good defensive player, strong, big body, like 6'8". They'd be like, great, sign me up. I'm like, it's Rui Hachimura. They're like, really? And I still feel like his talent isn't completely, like, tapped into. I feel like this guy could be more of a creator if he was on like a worse team with worse players, and we don't necessarily root to see that or anything, but I feel like Rui's got that skill set, man. I really do. This was Chuma Okeke. Okay, so we had some not so great draft picks back to back there. Brandon Clark, a lot more valuable earlier in his career just because like his rebounding numbers were so crazy and he was so good at finishing at the rim. Defensively, he had some questions as a bit of an undersized big, but obviously health has been a concern for him up to or in recent memory. But yeah, shout out Brandon Clark, man. I like Brandon Clark. So feels like a bit of a drop-off we just had right here. It feels like a bit of a drop-off with Keldon Johnson being a little bit maybe too high for me. Who do we got next? Max Strus, my business partner, had a very big role in Max Strus's development, actually. So I've been very familiar with Max Strus for a while now. Obviously, like we've seen, he's been a big part of like the Heat teams and the Cavs teams. The shooting is what you really know him for. Solid defensively, great effort guy. I feel like he always knows where to be on the court too. Shout out my business partner for being a good development coach, I suppose. So shout out to him. But yeah, I love Max Strus and what he's able to bring. Probably will be a starter when he comes back this season. Jordan Poole, interesting, because this is, look, Jordan Poole, everything you get with him, right? We understand it. The dude has won a championship, right? He has won a championship, and that's something you'll never be able to take away, as he was a huge part of a championship team. Yes, has it been a little bit messy since then? He has been playing for the Wizards. He has been playing for the Pelicans. Something to remember, right? Not exactly the organizations that were going to put you in the best opportunities to succeed. But is he a goofy basketball player at times? Yes, he is. I think the talent is very, very high in this guy, and I'd like to see him get back into an organized organization and see what he becomes. He was originally the 28th pick in this draft. He was a surprise, man. I gotta tell you, again, history goes back. Me and Jordan Poole, little bit. At times, it's the best way that I can put that. And I was surprised to see him get a scholarship to Michigan. Was surprised to see him get drafted as high as he did, and I was surprised with how good he was in the NBA. Shout out Jordan Poole, man. I think he's a hooper. Ty Jerome, kind of a late bloomer here. Obviously, last season was really the only like major stuff we've seen out of Ty Jerome, and we haven't really gotten to see him much this year or whatever. But if we're going based off of last year, sixth man of the year type of guy, right? Can go get you points, create some offense, playmaker. Great stuff out of Ty Jerome. This was Matisse Thybulle originally. He was a real surprise for people just because he made such a huge impact for the Sixers defensively early on. That was a fun one. We keep moving. Grant Williams. I haven't seen this motherfucker play basketball in a minute. Often mislabeled as a multi-positional defender. I would agree with that. Grant Williams was more than capable of using his heft, his heft to credibly guard centers, which he often did, while hitting threes in bunches for some good Boston Celtics teams, blah, 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 blah. He hasn't been the most efficient since leaving Boston. How many games has he even played? He'll only be 27 when he retakes the floor following a recovery from a torn ACL. So he still has a good shot to reaffirm his status as a helpful rotation player. Yeah, I mean, that's fair. When was the last time we saw him play? I just don't remember. Caleb Martin. Yeah, obviously the shooting stuff is a bit of a question sometimes. Oh, this was originally Grant Williams. Who was this originally? This was Brandon Clark. Caleb Martin, you guys know what you kind of get in him. Sometimes he'll heat up offensively and be a good shooter. Shout out those Miami Heat days, because everybody plays good for the Miami Heat. But now kind of more so just a defensive guy, pushes the pace in transition, very competitive player, right? Still, good player at this point, 22 on the list. Very, very good. Terrence Mann. Can I get a Terrence Mann stat check, please? Because I don't know. The Brooklyn Nets are not a team that I can internalize very well right now. So shooting fine from three this season. Like assist percentage pretty good, turnover percentage pretty low, doing a little bit of everything. Like he continues to just kind of be this like average player. The past couple years, I've been kind of one to be like, hey, don't trust Terrence Mann that much, because like his defensive numbers are a lot worse than you think they are actually. But it looks like he's kind of bouncing back up a little bit at least. And since he's on the Nets, we're gonna give him even more credit for some of that stuff. So very just like average role player kind of shit for Terrence Mann at this point. Can do a little bit, and I emphasize a little bit, of everything out there. This was Darius Baisley. Yeah, that potential never really actualized, did it? Oh well. He was originally a second round pick. Shout out Terrence Mann. Goga Batadze. Yeah, a guy that never necessarily gets like a shit ton of minutes or whatever, and he's still getting some this year because Mo is obviously like always a little bit banged up for Orlando. But Goga, when you give him minutes, man, you get production. That's all I can say. He's extremely effective around the rim. The hair and beard are absolutely elite. I don't know. I remember when he got picked, like I felt like he was way too high of a draft pick, and I guess looking back at it now, apparently so. But that doesn't mean he's not still a good player. One of my close buddies ended up getting to work with him while he was in the G League a little bit, and was like praised him so much. He was like, "No, we're gonna get him right down here, and like it's gonna work out for him." And I'm glad that he's kind of found a home in Orlando. And surprised there's not more trade rumors about him, because I don't necessarily see him as essential to Orlando at any given point, but like I feel like he could be really valuable with other teams. So I don't know. He's hit 60% of his shots in each of the last 3 years and hasn't posted a block rate worse than 2.8. That's pretty dope, man. That's pretty dope. Shout out Goga. Jackson Hayes, yeah, the big goofy motherfucker. Originally, this was Nasir Little, originally, also a goofy motherfucker. He was originally a lottery pick because we're like, wow, another like Texas big man that can just run, jump, and dunk like crazy. Maybe we're gonna get another Jared Allen or whatever. But he was too goofy or whatever, and New Orleans was just kind of a mess at times. And now he's kind of slowly revitalizing himself with the Lakers. He's in a role that makes sense for him, right? Backup big man that just needs to run, jump, dunk, block shots or whatever. Still makes some mistakes, but man, the talent's always been there, and when it shows, it's great. Shout out Jackson Hayes. There's Matisse Thybulle. Obviously, just hasn't been quite healthy in a while, and so you just don't know what you have in him. But at his peak, a guy that could shoot the three ball at times, at other times not at all, is the best way to put it, and an elite defensive player. But health might be getting the better of him at a certain point. Shout out Dylan Windler. Dean Wade, another just solid role player defensively, plays really hard, can shoot the three ball at times. This was Mfiondu Kabengele. Oh, that's a name that you should pull out in like those like little NBA grid things or whatever. That's a good one. Shout out Kabengele. He was originally undrafted. All right, we only got a couple more to go through. John Conchar. I've got stories about John Conchar. Swiss Army knife type of dude, man. Swiss Army knife type of dude. Can do a little bit of everything for you. You need him to run a pick and roll? Yeah, he's going to do it fine. Defend somebody? He's going to do it fine. Shoot the three ball? He'll do it fine. Get it way too many rebounds for his size? Sure. He's logged a little over 5,000 career minutes, good enough to land him firmly among the top 30. He's been a more efficient scorer than almost everyone in this class with a 58.1 true shooting percentage. Like, that's what I'm saying, man. He's just, you can put him into anything and you're going to get solid basketball. So shout out John Conchar. And he continues to get nice contracts from them. Cody Martin, just kind of the worst version of Caleb more often than not. So we move on. And then Talen Horton-Tucker, who isn't even in the league at this point. So we didn't even get 29 or we didn't even get 30 guys still in the NBA necessarily just 6 years later. What does that tell you, right? What does that tell you? Well, Kevin Porter Jr. is in the class still. I guess you could say he should maybe be in. Well, though people would have tried to sign Talen Horton-Tucker, I guess he just got more money overseas. But I don't know. We've all seen Talen Horton-Tucker play basketball. We thought the potential was going to be a lot more than what it was, but it just isn't. So yeah, that's Talen Horton-Tucker. But anyway, I appreciate you guys for tuning into these. Looking back at this, I feel like there's a lot of conversation that could be had about swapping these guys like around. So I'm really curious to hear like what you guys think. Like, who would you rank higher than others, right? Because like I could see somebody saying like, hey, Lou Dort shouldn't be this high. He's just on the Thunder, right? And so there's a big difference maybe between him and some of these other guys like down here. I could totally like see that argument. And I'm just curious to hear what your guys' thoughts are on all of it. But as always, thank you guys very much. I greatly appreciate it. Let's move on to the comments of the video. Alrighty, y'all. Comment to the video is coming from a very frequent commenter on the channel and someone heavily involved in our Discord, Mr. Doc right here. He said, it was a loss, but good experience. By the way, this comes from our rookie report video right here. He said, it was a loss, but good experience and performance against Boston's starting unit for the young Magic players. This was that game where they, like, the coach basically said, all right, fucking, I'm just going to put all the young guys in and because you guys will play harder. And they played well. They lost the game, though. This is how playing time is earned. Build trust from the coaching staff. So true. It still makes me laugh hearing you say big boy in admiration of Penda. He definitely is. He's a big boy, man. He just is. Like, and I love it. I just love watching Noah Penda play just because I'm like, wow, that's a big boy. But anyway, thank you guys for the great basketball conversations. Hopefully you guys had good holiday weekend and everything. If you want to have more great conversations, go join the Discord. Link is down in the description below. Be sure to look into Fan Daily. Great thing to kind of partner with some people that I think could be kind of a cool product for people. So I'd recommend looking into it. I get my newsletters from them now, and I like to read them in the morning. I think it's kind of fun. So yeah, I appreciate you guys as always, and let's have another great week. Thanks so much. Bye.